Good morning and welcome. Thanks for tuning into the Kilat Shari Torah daily review of Maimonides' 613 mitzvahs, Sefer HaMitzvot. In addition, today, as all the weekdays between now and the day before Erev Rosh Hashanah, we will be sounding the shofar. We've been talking about civic legislation, civil legislation laws that apply to the greater society of the Jewish people, particularly, or not limited to internal laws, but also vis-a-vis other nations. So the next mitzvah the Rambam lists here and explains is the law of non-obligatory war, Milchemes Reshus. There's the idea of war of self-defense, Milchemes Mitzvah. That's a separate category in its own. But a king in consultation with the high priest, with the Kohen Gadol, has the ability, has the power to call out the troops, as it were, for wars of expansion, non-obligatory wars. This is to engage in war with neighboring, with other nations, to make a covenant with them, to spare their lives on the condition they make peace with us, to gain land, to make them our tributaries and subjects, and so on. So it's laws of expansion. This is talked about in the 8th chapter of Tractate Sota in the Talmud, also the 2nd chapter of Sanhedrin. The king has to, of course, go to the the king did not require the authorization of the Sanhedrin to fight obligatory war, but could not engage in non-obligatory war without it. So there's also a consultation with the Sanhedrin, as we'll see when we go into greater depth looking at these halachas. Next mitzvah is appointing a priest, the Kohen Mashuach L'Milchama. There is a priest who has to be appointed and anointed with oil, and goes out to speak to the soldiers before they engage in battle, and actually to issue sort of an exemption that we read about in our portions coming up. When you come close to the battle, those who have become betrothed and haven't yet gotten married, one who has planted a vineyard, hasn't eaten it, built a house and not yet dwelt in it, all those who are faint of heart and might otherwise not hold up well under the stresses of battle are exempted from that, and that's the time when they're allowed to leave the ranks and go back to where they come from and sit out this round. So this is actually in connection with the first mitzvah we spoke about, non-obligatory war, Milchemes Reshus, because these exemptions do not apply in a time of Milchemes Mitzvah, where war is obligatory for self-defense. Two other halachas that go along with the battlefield, with the army. One is to prepare a place beyond the camp. It's a nice way of saying to prepare sanitary facilities, latrines, to keep the camp a holy place. Make it, even though we're engaged in what's perhaps thought of as not such a noble adventure. Of course, when it's self-defense, it is certainly one thing. And even as we saw with the first mitzvah there, the Milchemes Reshus, the non-obligatory war, optional war, that the king summons people to do battle in, we still have to maintain our dignity and our sanctity as much as possible, even in such situations. So there is a mitzvah to provide latrines. Corollary to that, I guess you could say, is to include a shovel among the gear that's issued to soldiers. They have to have a shovel to be able to dig latrines for this very purpose. The Sefer HaMitzvot HaGadol, the Smag, counts these two as only one mitzvah, part and parcel of the same mitzvah. The Rambam, however, counts them as two separate mitzvahs. Okay, so we will leave it there for today, and please join us tomorrow. We'll continue talking about Rambam's positive mitzvahs. We're a significant way through the Sefer, and then we'll continue with the second volume, which is the prohibitions, the Mitzvot Lo Taseh, the negative commandments. Okay, have a wonderful day. Please join us again tomorrow. Bye-bye.